Hello, my darlings. It is I, your host, Madam Tilly, and these are my friends, Knockfellets. Knockfellets?
It's always a pleasure to be here in these podcasts, Tilly.
And Upside Down Matt.
That is I, the upside down one.
He, he really is upside down like almost all the time.
Was he ever right side up at this point?
Um, I can't tell you that because non-disclosure agreements.
He
Huh.
probably cosplays his right side up.
And Hatsune Miku too on the side.
Oh, that'd be good. Oh, you should do like Hatsune Miku in the Terry Bogard outfit.
Don't tempt me, I might do it.
That would be a good art
But
idea. Matt is a bit of an artist.
I dabble.
Oh yeah, and also Matt's a big time retro streamer, so definitely check him out. And Knock, he loves some retro. He loves some you love variety basically, and especially tonight's topic, Metroidvania. Is that correct?
Correct. Speaking of Metroidvanias, prior to streaming, I actually didn't care for them, but as I started streaming them, I grew to really love the genre.
What about you, Knock?
I've been doing the Metroidvania for 4 years now, since May of 2021. Many people have been asking, okay, maybe you should bring some variety to it. And I said, okay, I'm open to suggestions. And here's what they suggested. Most of the titles were in the Metroidvania genre. And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'll make an entire month dedicated to me doing it. And then 4 years later, which leads to today, I asked chat, do you want more than 1 month of this? Because I'm pretty sure most people are tired of just waiting another month of May just for me to play Metroidvanias. And the majority unanimously agreed. These Metroidvanias I find it quite fascination too. However, there are some Metroidvanias that I don't deem it Metroidvanias. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But as of right now, the genre itself is interesting. It is even if its own subgenres, such as Souls-like, roguelike, anything like that. The genre itself, it's forever growing, and I like to see it expand upon beyond the norm. But I'm seeing more of those in the indie, and that's something I take pride in, especially the indies.
Oh, same. Because most of the ones I've written down I'd like to talk about, the majority are indie ones.
Oh, speaking of feed, most Matt likes to take part in something called Jankuary.
And one of
This
the
is
games I will talk about was actually hosted during a Jankuary event.
nice. And I guess by proxy, we're just also kind of be like a Metroid and a Castlevania podcast as well. Um, let's see here.
You know
Not to
what,
say like,
Tilly?
what's up?
Then how about I do a segue about the first game I'd like to talk about?
Let's see here. Put a quick pin on that though. What Nox said earlier that like because like May the month of May is May Metroidvania saying. No, I was actually kind of like I was over at a friend's house. I played for like an hour this game called Zao Tales of Kinzara.
Yes.
Uh, and I really enjoyed it, and made me think like, oh, Doc loves Metroidvanias. I didn't know this was a Metroidvania, but yeah. So like, hey, why don't we talk about this Metroids? Uh, and
So you, hmm.
mm,
So you want to talk about the Tales of Kanzera Zao for a little bit?
we can get to that.
Okay.
But yeah, you're saying Matt?
So I have, and people thought it was going to be very controversial with this one Castlevania game that I find is jank.
Mm.
Now, bear with me. Let me say the whole thing. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And before I get attacked, there's an unreleased version that I did. Because I love the original PlayStation 1 version. Nah, we're talking about the GameCom version. It is such a oddly fascinating, faithful adaptation of, the wonderful game that coined the term to an unreleased, version of it that, no joke, You can easily soft lock your game. It once a blue moon can crash, but it's so faithful. It is the best game on a horrible system that never got released.
That is beautiful.
It had to be there.
Yep,
Do you have footage of this?
I do actually. I do. I actually saved the VOD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like idea.
Yeah. So basically, put it. If you played Symphony of the Night PS1, you do know how to play this game without even realizing it.
Let's see.
Until
I
I
believe I
will
played-
post in general.
My first time playing it was actually on the Xbox 360, which, hey, no load times. But yeah, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Although it wasn't the first, it was kind of like really kicked off the whole Metroidvania, which is basically a genre where like there's no linearity whatsoever. You can go left, right, up or down, northwest, southwest, east, west, and just try to find your way around. And some games, you get like so fucking lost, whereas other games it kind of makes it a little more clear. Like, oh, you just need this particular key card or like missile to break open these kind of doors, and then you can see more within these sections. I guess it kind of like softcore Metroidvanias would be kind of like the Resident Evil games, the early ones, because you get different keys and you can kind of run around to different sections.
I'd say it's also like Cave Story might be a bit of a soft one too, as I've explored more of the genre.
Yeah, that counts.
No, I think
That's
Cave Story
kinda-
does count heavily as a Metroidvania for an indie.
Yeah, very bullet hell, Metroidvania. Let's see here. But yeah, thoughts on the Symphony of the Night in general.
Fantastic game. Not my favorite Castlevania Metroidvania, but fantastic.
Guess I'll pitch in.
Yeah.
I guess I'll pitch in for a little bit. As a person who only played once on the first playthrough and went for 200% by accident, I
GG.
only played the perfect port of it, which is the PlayStation version. Or albeit the I got the PS4 edition that had both Symphony of the Night and the other one.
Oh, Rondo.
Yep, the Rondo. Considering I'm glad that I was considering that I didn't play or didn't know about the bad port, the janky port, I guess I dodged a bullet on that one because I was looking into that one and I said, "Oh, thankfully Upside Down told me not to get that one. Thank you."
Oh
Gave
no,
me
you should
the-
still play it just to experience it.
No, thank you. I rather have my games perfected and have their time taken to perfect it instead of just going through bugs and jank instead of being rushed.
Here's even the weird part. You can beat the game. It's like 90% playable. Like that's the wild part.
Mm.
But once you beat the game, you don't know who made the game. There's no end credits.
I stand by what I said.
I don't
I will
blame
not-
you.
I stand what I said. But
I beat it
as-
so you didn't have to.
appreciate it.
welcome.
But my thoughts on it, it's a fantastic game. It's mostly well known by not only every streamer but mostly any gamer that actually went into it. They would know that what Symphony of the Night is like, and they had to watch, oh, this is a lot of fun, and apparently they went with it. I think it's one of the very good ports of Castlevania going in. But is it safe for beginners? I think I'm gonna have to ask yes and no. It's easy to navigate, but it's also easy to get lost in.
Yep.
And knowing me as a person who started off in Metroidvanias back then, I easily got lost in it. But after some time, and I noticed the pattern. Okay. So overall, I would say yes, it's good for beginners, but also no. If you're one of those people like me that easily gets lost in it, sure. But if you just like to, go straight towards the next objective until you get the next ability, I would say definitely there, for sure. But Symphony of the Night, I think I gave a rating of 9.5 out of 10 at the time, or maybe it was a 10. I don't remember, but it was more than a 9 when I played it. A lot. Oh, there's a lot, and there's a lot in Symphony of the Night to be accounted for and to be had for. The exploration is perfect. The abilities are nice. The combat is smooth. And the boss fights, trial and
Same on
error,
the feet.
learn. Mostly trial and error.
Let's see here. And I played the Sega Saturn version, which is called something else, the Nocturne in the Moonlight. So not a lot of people played that version. That's it being Japanese only. But and on that one, you got like 2 exclusive additions to the castle, like a dungeon area and like an evil garden, um, and a couple other exclusive items like the a la carte spear, which is a pretty badass weapon. And it would make it like another a current appearance in the series. And I think like the a la carte boost that lets you pretty much move twice as fast, which is like great for getting around that place. Um, and it's also one of the only 2 versions that let you play as Maria. Uh, and like Maria, it depends what version. Like in the Sega Saturn version, she's like easy mode because she's got backflips and she's got projectile beam attacks as basic attacks. Um, but if you picked up the PSP version, which is also a good compilation of that and Rondo, um, like for one, like Maria is now the kind of like the hard mode. She's a totally different character too, like different outfit, and she uses her little bird familiars, but they're pretty short range. So yeah, she definitely the hard mode, and they did the crime of redubbing the game from its iconic dub. Um,
What is a man?
yeah. Although it's kind of funny if you beat him as Maria, he's like, I got beat by a girl. Bless her. He's such a sore loser.
I mean, he's such a sore loser. Comes back every 100 years.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I mean, Castlevania 64, he technically is dead. But we're not getting the Castlevania lore of the podcast now, are we?
True. Let's see here. Oh, yes, it is kind of like a semi Castlevania podcast. Uh, but we're not gonna break down in like the anime or anything today. Um, I always thought the N64 games were kind of an enigma, cause it's like you got first it was Castlevania 64, which was quite jank because it was that early 3D, or 3D game was still finding its footing. Um, it's funny, cause I always put a lot of, I always kind of tend to shit on I think it's the third generation, the NES, because so many games were like badly programmed, or stupid hard, our gaming was kind of new, so they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They didn't know what balance was. Like I'd say there's like more bad NES games than good. Um,
Oh yeah, no, that's factual.
yeah, and then the next generations where they still have problems, but they kind of worked a lot of
You're
kinks
starting to
out.
get it.
Yeah. And then we kind of went for the same damn thing, because we all remember the 5th generation very fondly. The PS1 was legend. But the 5th generation, we kind of went for the same thing, but now with 3D type games. And then it was the next gen where things got a bit more, stable. But yeah, so it's just, 64 Castlevania suffered from that greatly.
Although
and... Gone.
Sorry for butting in, but I always will actually defend Castlevania 64. I think it's a good but heavily flawed game.
Yeah.
Although, screw Konami for, the TNT or whatever part, and you fall to the floor and go kaboom.
I was trying not to bring that part up, but it's like, how do you even beat that part?
I've beaten it. Oh god,
Yeah. Did you get on your first attempt?
third attempt. But hey, I still did it.
Oh, well. I was expecting to be a lot more than that. But I like Legacy of Darkness because, like, not only do you get to play as a freaking werewolf like Corel, but that game technically has like 5 characters in it. So if you beat it, I think it's the original 2 characters. Then you get the characters from Castlevania 64, and you get to play through all of Castlevania 64. You basically put both games on one cartridge.
Oh, did you hear the thing about discovered with that game?
No.
So they found recently a cheat code for the second Castlevania on Nintendo 64. You can unlock the characters from the get-go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was, I think, discovered last month, if not earlier this month.
Shit. But yeah, so you basically get the entirety of the first game on the cartridge. Oh, he doesn't have any voice acting. But yeah, we can live about that, I guess. And so I thought that's just an interesting setup. Like, just give him the whole last game. Yeah. uh, yeah. Almost a little bit kind of like or Pokemon, second generation. Like, we're back in Kanto. And like, have you played those 64 ones?
I've only played the 164 ones, and that's just the Castlevania 64. I did beat it, and there was something odd about it, and I could put my whip on it. But there was some known jank to be had. But that doesn't say by any means it is beatable. It's a little weird of how it was set up to be beaten, or the way they drew it up. Because most of these Castlevania games, it's created just how they drew it up. And if there's a puzzle or a setup that needs to be done, but knowing me, making it hard for myself to solve it, and I said, "Oh, this is exactly how they drew it up, and I made it hard for myself. Shame." But Castlevania 64 was the only one I played. I never played the other one. I don't know why. Either I didn't know about it, which that one is true, or I just didn't know about it, which is also true. But 64 does have some memorable memories in there. And it's something I would play again. Sure. Why not?
Now, I would say, like, well, the console titles tend to experiment a bit. They went really heavy with the Metroidvania, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night model with the portable games from that point on. So, like, the Game Boy Advance collection, like, oh, yeah, they're very Metroidvania-y.
Because
I mean, go ahead.
because I think the Symphony of the Night, of how it was made, I feel like it's the only one that worked, as opposed to the others that allegedly didn't.
Okay, okay, makes sense. What y'all feel about the portable games? Yeah.
The GBA ones, I like them. My personal rank of them, and this is my favorite Metroidvania of the Castlevania variety, is Aria of Sorrow, Circle of the Moon, and Harmony of Distances is my least favorite.
Never played the latter two, but the former I have, Aria of Sorrow. I played it, and I think I 100% it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was last.
Well.
It was last year. Yeah, it was last year on my. It was the last year, 2023's Metroidvania Marathon. I beat Aria of Sorrow. It was requested by someone in chat that I played. I said, let's check it out. And yeah, I was hooked. I loved it more than I should. It's definitely ranked high up there. The other two I haven't played, but I know those will be on my to-do list for 2025.
Nice. And I think I played the DS games more. There was that Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesia. Like Order of Ecclesia tried something different. With they like there was like no whips and stuff. You just kind of like use like these like energy sword weapons and like whatnot. Like and they had Portrait of Ruin, which is kind of like more Return to Form, and you have to play as I forget which Belmont or no, it's John Morrison from Bloodlines.
Yeah, which that surprised me, and that Bloodlines had to get on a sequel. I was like, oh, that's different, but I welcomed it.
Oh yeah. And I forget who the girl was, but basically you actually tag team and switch back and forth if you want to be the whip wielder or the mage. So yeah, those were pretty neat. Yeah, did you get to play those guys?
Well, I did play Portrait of Ruin, and I played the other one on DS, Dawn of Sorrow, which I'm just gonna put out here. It's a good game. I just like it quite a bit less than Aria of Sorrow. It's kind of, the sequel being a good follow-up, but not a great follow-up.
Oh yeah, that one took place in Japan too. It's like, man, they already got to worry about Godzilla now. Dracula too.
Happens. Vlad the Impaler had to move somewhere.
This is. Um, just a quick off-topic side note. Anyone play that Castlevania fighting game?
Oh, Judgment?
Yeah.
Oh, I've beaten it. That's part of my first Jankuary.
Oh, nice.
And you know what? Light Yagami is Belmont now.
Yeah, Buff Light Yagami.
I'm so sorry with the fact that you just had to bring in a Castlevania fighting game. I'm losing my crap over here.
I will say
Yeah.
this. The game controls are alright as long as you're not using motion controls. You use the classic controller, the game controls fine.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that game. Well,
Actually, I have a obscure game to bring up to you guys that runs on one of the GBA Castlevania games engine. Shaman King, Master of Spirits 2.
I ain't heard that.
Well,
Wow.
it's by Konami. Like, my only issue with the game as a whole...
Oh, Shaman King. Okay.
Yep. Like, my only issue with the game itself is... It's not always, like, balance some spots, so sometimes it just have spikes in difficulties, because you have to get items to level up, so just killing all the enemies doesn't really matter. Like, that's really my only issue with the game, just has difficulty spikes, but otherwise, it's a decent Metroidvania. It's probably, in my opinion, the 5th best Metroidvania I've played on Game Boy Advance. Because there's one I will place above it. If you want to hear what it is right now, unless you guys have another one to talk about.
No, go for it.
Alright, this one's a licensed game. The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Pumpkin King.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Go figure. Nightmare Before Christmas has a Metroidvania.
Oh,
Developed
great.
by Tosei. And you know what? It's a competent game. Like, it's admittedly not a very difficult game. I remember there's like one difficulty spike I had, but that might have just been me playing bad as opposed to it actually being bad. But now it's really good. Like I said, it's worse than all the Castlevanias on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
But it's not trailing that far behind at 4th.
Nice.
So I suggest you guys check that one out if you want a nice obscure Metroidvania.
Have y'all seen that recent Jack Skellington 9/11 meme?
I have not.
Basically, it's a little meme comic of
Oh wait, now the one where he looks through the door.
Yep.
I've seen
Not
it now.
Beardedus.
I'm terribly sorry. I do not follow memes.
But basically, someone's talking like, man, 9/11's practically a holiday now. Oh God, that means, and then it cuts to like an airplane cockpit, and Jack Skeleton pops through the door. What's this? What's this? And they're freaking out, and then they slowly start crashing to the Twin Towers.
Oh,
Yep, I saw that. I
God.
was gonna post some on the Discords I'm in.
Oh, God. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, oh yeah, there was the I don't see the get enough love nowadays, but there was the 3D ones like Lamlet of Innocence, uh, and was it Curse of Darkness?
I've always wanted to try those ones out, but I've never got around to them or bought them.
What's it? And I said, kind of think of a character. Lamlet of Innocence. Yep. Okay, that's what I remember. So it's like cause one Lamlet of Innocence is pretty awesome. And I thought it was just great. And I know it had like one of the gayest vampires as the main villain. But then there was Curse of Darkness, which didn't really get as much love because one, you play as what was it? Not Isaac, Hector. And you're not a whip wielder this time around, or Belmont. You basically summon monsters, so the combat's a little different, and it was mostly pushed on the original Xbox. So whereas the Lamb of Innocence was kind of like chosen as the PS2's champion. So that one kind of got most of the love. But yeah, both are really good Castlevanias. Uh, and nowadays they kind of fall into history, but.
Yeah, and now they go for some stupid money where I'm like, I'd like to own you, but I also would like to keep my wallet.
Uh, and I guess let's talk about the other half of the Metroidvania, Metroid.
Well, I did recently play through Metroid 2, actually. For not to be confused with Samus Returns or another Metroid 2 remake.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? I don't get some of the hate for it. I don't get
This
it.
is. It's pretty decent. Yeah.
Well, it's the black sheep of the Metroid games, which I can kind of see and understand. But do you ever just make it that everyone feels like the game is bad when you try yourself like, nah, this is actually a pretty fun and decent game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would probably agree with other people. It's probably my least favorite 2D Metroid, but that's not an insult. Like, I'd easily give it like an 8 out of 10. I'd say the only thing holding it back in a couple spots is a little bit of jank, lack of a map, which I can't get angry at the genre because maps weren't a thing really yet. And there was like one pain in the butt enemy, and the final boss was a bit hard, but it was doable.
Hmm.
But hey, I technically beat the game without dying.
Yeah, because I fussed about NES jank, I don't even bother with that original version, so I went to play Zero Mission instead.
I mean, Zero Mission's fantastic.
Oh yeah, and because like Symphony Night kind of gave me PTSD because we talked about how it's so easy to get lost, so I can't really play that game again anymore. Like I remember, I settled for the bad ending, so I was just so tired of being lost in that game, because basically you just you kill the brainwashed Richter, and like I kind of like the ending description anyway, but I had to sell for that one, because I was done with the game. Because I couldn't even find the thing you need to reveal the like shaft to get the second castle. But anyways, Metroid Zero Mission actually told you, kind of at least gave you an idea of where to go and stuff. There were some parts were a little frustrating to get through, um, and but all
Yeah,
in all, I thought it was pretty good.
is that I think they were referring to the frustrating part, like the very last very last part of the game, like right there.
Oh, that part, no, I actually kind of appreciate because it was like it made it nice and tense. But no, it's kind of like having to get through certain doors or something like that, or just, like environmental shit, or some enemy spawns. Um, yeah, it's that being bad at games, but but no, I liked the ending part. I thought I wouldn't, but it was pretty good. Let's see here.
I mean, one I also liked, moving to the 3D Metroid. I like Metroid Prime.
Yeah, how much do you like Metroid Prime?
So Metroid Prime is a very important game for me. For two reasons. It's the second game I ever streamed on my current channel, and I sorry if I sound like glow, with me, but like I lucked out and got like this gigantic raid while doing it. So the game's going to be forever stuck in my memory as the game I had a huge raid from when I wasn't even an affiliate.
Aw.
And but the game itself, I really like how the game is actually like it will stop sometimes like, all right, you're clearly lost. This is where you go. And I had some people like kind of show me how to play through the game. Because once again, like you tell you, I get lost in these games. That's partially why I stream them. So I'm kind of like, hey, someone point me in the right direction.
Yeah, that's why I did get a little frustrated from time to time with Metroid Prime. Beautiful game, good combat, stuff like that. But it's like try and like read the map or something like that, and like basically it's like going from playing through the games. Normally it's fine, but if you want to I want to collect all the energy containers or something like that, then you're gonna be pulling your hair out.
Yeah, I will second that.
Yeah, not a Metroidvania, but another game that's a lot like that is those Donkey Kong Country games.
Oh
Yeah,
God, yeah, I would agree.
yeah. Like if you can get through DKC2, just fine. But if you want I want a 105% or whatever the percentage is, yeah, it's
It's gonna be a fun
bad
time.
times. Yeah, great times. Uh,
Yeah, another one I enjoyed quite a bit. I did like the newest Metroid, Metroid Dread. That I felt was honestly a great game. It's a little tough in some spots, but I've been noticing a bit more of a trend. I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed an uptick in more Spain-based developers working on Metroidvanias,
hmm.
such as they worked on Samus Returns, they worked on Dread. I there's another one I can't think of the name of it, but I've just been noticing an uptick of like international studios that aren't based in Japan loving Metroidvanias and developing them.
Hmm. I can imagine it's that expensive compared to 3D cutscene fests. But Nako, how do you feel about the Metroid games?
Ugh. There's a lot to unbag here. I haven't played Prime yet. Don't hate on me for doing so. I just haven't gotten around to them yet. I will do so eventually. I promise. But I did see my buddy Cage of the Hero play it, and it looks like that he had a lot of fun with it, with its 3D environments. I think it's interesting in a way that they put Metroid in a 3D environment that blends and works well in it. I haven't seen or played the other ones past that, but that is worth some observation for later. As for the other Metroid games I've played, I haven't played Metroid 2, or I haven't played Samus Returns. Not even the another one. I haven't played those. I do think that those do deserve to be looked at some other time. Now, the most overrated one. I'm pretty sure people are going to attack me for this, and I could care less. Super Metroid. Super
No,
Metroid.
I actually agree with you. I think it's a bit overrated.
Severely overrated. Like highly, highly recommended by my chat. I get the appeal, but what I don't get is why. I don't get it. Why? I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like it. I did enjoy it, but I just don't understand why is it so. Why is it this? I don't get it. Is it perfect? Mm-mm, far from it. I've seen more I've seen more better Metroidvanias than that is more polished, but this is it was close, but it definitely did not win a cigar. Uh Here's why. When you get lost in an immersion of a world so big divided by subsectors, knowing myself and Tilly, we would get lost in these subsectors, and sometimes we want to go through that door. But unfortunately, we cannot go through that because there's a block. The maps were not updated to show where the roadblocks were, which is kind of a little upsetting. But then again, I will forgive it because it was in the Super Nintendo era. That was one of the very first Metroid games I've played on Steam. It held no importance to me, but it was only just that. It was the very first Metroidvania game I played that started the marathon, that kickstarted it. And again, no significant importance but that. I just enjoyed it and nothing more, nothing less. What's another Metroid that I like? Dread. I love Dread. I love Dread more than Super Metroid. I'll say it again. I love Metroid Dread much more than Super Metroid.
And you
I
know
don't know
what?
what's that. I don't
respect
know what's
your
that said
opinion.
about you folks out there, but it says a lot about me. It works. There's a blend of challenge, well, albeit some janky challenge. Underwater Emmy we don't talk about. There's some mechanics in there that well, they were needed, and there are some mechanics that were, I feel like, not needed. Such as I don't know what's up with the perfect parry and everything, but if there's like if there's like in any time that you're underwater in that underwater Emmy you're trying to get away with, and you're already asking for death, you're only going to get that parry correct if you time it very correctly, because the window in underwater is so slim if you don't have the gravity suit. Without it, yeah, don't bother to parry. It's already game over.
Amy was scary.
Yeah, it was really scary. The Emmys were really scary. I think the underwater Emmy was the most scariest because there was nothing I could have done to parry it. Even if I timed it correctly, I'm already doomed. Yeah, so Dread had its bunch of challenges. It had some of the advanced mechanics from the past ones that I can appreciate. Dread also had numerous difficulties, some of which that the other Metroid games never had. And I'm always a sucker for a better challenge, not a sadistic challenge like Dread mode. I cannot do Dread mode for the life of me. I just don't have time.
Oh, what's Dread mode?
Dread mode is the advanced form of Metroid Dread. You get hit in any way, shape, or form, you instantly die. No amount of health up, power ups, or anything. You get hit, you're dead. Yep, that's what Dread mode is.
It does sound dreadful. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Same.
It is dreadful. I only recommend it to those who are sadistic enough to challenge it. Me, I'm not one of those.
Yeah,
So
as I always say, sometimes I might play games for the challenge, but I also try not to play video games to get frustrated.
True.
it can be incredibly frustrating. Don't worry about it. So yes, there is a hard mode on there. There's also the Dread modes I mentioned earlier. The Metroid Dread was the answer, in my honest opinion, if any, a successor, an immediate, very good successor to Super Metroid, because it worked. It knew the formula. It stayed true to the tradition. It never strayed. of course, you had to, get the abilities from the Emmys and everywhere else on the planet, but it just worked. It just did. And
Mm.
I think Dread deserves my praise of being in the top 5 Metroidvania games, my favorite of all time. It's just that good. It's just so good. Another Metroid I would like to Fusion. I love Fusion a lot. And yes, I can get lost in the biomes and the different areas, but aside from Dread, Fusion was another one of those that I 100% completed. And no, I did not 100% Super Metroid, nor do I want to. It's already hard enough for me finding every single nook and cranny just to look for some damn power up. I'm not in the mood to looking for a yellow polka dot bikini in the middle of a rock on this big giant planet that's ready to explode. Yeah, no, thank you. So Metroid Fusion at first, I thought that, oh no, I'm not unable to get to the access the areas. No, you can. It's I humbly discovered it by accident. They can get to other biomes not by using the normal method, the other method. I said, oh, oh. So I could do it this way. Thank you. But Metroid Fusion is one of my favorites. Next to Dread. It's highly praised for sure. It's up there. It works. Again, never strayed from the formula. It stayed true. No Emmys to bother with. It's just it can be a little frustrating with getting lost, as I mentioned, but it does have its merits, and I love it. Never played Zero Mission, but it is on my list to do.
Mm.
I'm a little surprised that there was okay, you can fact check me on this. I'm surprised that there are no Metroid games on the N64.
There was not any.
Good.
The closest thing you will get to it is a Smash Brothers stage / Samus.
Thank you. Thank you for confirming that with me.
You're welcome.
Now, as for the others, I don't know, but we are sure, and we are certain that that the later Metroid games, they did their best to work with, and I have to say that the earlier system, if I were to play the earlier Metroid games, like the first, very, very, very first Metroid, I'm sure it'll feel so differently than the ones I'm playing today.
Oh, it is. As someone has gone back a couple years ago and played the first Metroid, I would genuinely say, unless you're absolutely in the mood to get completely lost, just play Zero Mission. Like, the only one like I said, I liked a lot more than I was expecting was, Metroid 2 on Game Boy. I like that more than I was anticipating. However, I'm also one of those guys that's, until he can attest, sometimes I just like a jank.
Just like a contestant in there. There's some folks out there I know that are into making homebrew Metroid games. I'm pretty sure there was or something out there, but I'm pretty sure they was stopped. But either way, Dread and Fusion are my favorites. It was highly enjoyable. But as far as enjoying them as an entire series, I enjoy it. I thought I was gonna get sick of it, but no, I enjoy. I mean, a last lone Metroid survivor fused with the body of a human, so pretty much Samus is half human, half Metroid. But also, I almost forgot the fact that she's also trained under the bird people. So
Yeah, she's like part Chozo. She's also part like Specimen X. She's also part something from Dread. So she's not human. She's a petri dish.
Are we sure she's just not related to Ichigo from Bleach at that point?
Damn, you know what? I forgot about the specimen act. Thank you for reminding me. You might as well just tell her that. You just might as well say that Samus is merely superhuman.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Just slap superhuman on Samus, and there you go. Without the suit. Oh, you think she's gonna be? Nope. She's fast, like very fast. Like under all those times of training, traveling under that heavy suit. Yeah, you would know that there's something sinister coming out of that suit. A very fast, lethal machine that's probably even worse than this. That's probably even on power with the suit.
And well, because the baby, and she's one tall mommy.
Wouldn't consider her. Well, okay, she's.
Well,
Okay,
I know she
is-
got her height slightly retconned. I think at one point she was 6'2", 6'3", and now I think she's 5 something.
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably say that she had a growth spurt throughout that span. Maybe it has something to do with the Metroid. I don't know. Well, either way goes. I'm loving the fact that Samus is just destroying planets whatever she lands onto. Well, mostly there's have been some planets that were left alone and not exploding, but I think Yoko made it controversial saying that yeah every planet that Samus goes into gets blown up at the end. And I thought to myself,
That is a running joke of hers. Yeah.
yeah, kind of is.
Please, Samus, don't visit Earth anytime soon.
Yeah, please don't.
But how about that Metroid Other M, y'all?
So-
About that one.
Who? I'm saying who as a joke because I know what Other M is.
Yeah.
I want someone else to talk about it.
All right, so I've never beaten it, for full transparency. I've played a good chunk. I think the gameplay and stuff of it's actually perfectly fine. If needs a still that little bit fixing, I think literally the nunchuck would have fixed some issues. But I think otherwise, gameplay-wise, the game was fine. It's the story, I understand the controversy.
Right.
I get it. Now, I see the people's... why they defend it, because they like that they try to give Samus more of a character. The problem is I completely also see why the same person also... that's I like the idea, also saying the same breath, but I don't like her characterization. So,
I
but in
understand.
terms of gameplay and everything, I will say Metroid Other M is a fine game. I'm not going to say it's a perfect game. It should never be in the worst games of all time list, because it's not. It's a perfectly serviceable, decent, even arguably a good game. But when it comes to story, I will defend anyone who despises the story. Your guys' thoughts?
You're not going to get anything out of me because I haven't played the game yet.
I guess I'm the only one who beat it.
It's on my
Uh,
docket, Tilly. It's coming soon.
Yeah, it's one of the first. I think it's the first Metroid game I beat. And I thought it was a good presentation. Yeah, story didn't make too much sense. Liked her short hair though.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought the game was decent. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like every series has its bad games.
And then, of a quote-unquote bad game, it's still a fine game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
as some people sometimes will say, "Oh, it's a." I'm gonna just use. Okay, maybe Star Fox Adventure is not the best example, but like, oh, it's a good blah game, but it's not a good this kind of game.
Yeah, I say that all the time. You know, kind of like I enjoy Resident Evil 6. Not really a Resident Evil game, but yeah.
So, is there any more Metroids or Castlevania you guys want to talk about? If not, I got some plenty independent ones I'd love to talk about.
Let's see, let me think here.
I think we covered them all except for one.
Oh.
I don't think I can count this. Metroid, the Federation.
Or-
No. Can't really count Pinball either.
So, I have a funny story about that game.
Sure.
I have never played it, but I had a former friend. I was making fake E3 predictions. So literally the month before, it said the next Metroid will not have Samus in it. It's like, piss off, man. It's gonna have it. And then just swears at me the as soon as that got announced.
What? Are you serious? What? Huh?
Yeah, the one
Wow.
3DS. I mean, Samus kind of makes an appearance, but I don't think she's actually really playable. Or if she is, you unlock her. But yeah, that's a thing.
I remember, 'cause, back in the day, like the second Metroid game was gonna be not Samus. This game I guess never came out, or they changed it. But the original plan was have some random guy, but he be in his own kind of variation of the Metroid suits to look very similar. Um, and he had to go to the planet to get a Sang, and he basically beat the final boss and get the MacGuffin, but the guy is like mortally wounded in the process, and then when Samus shows up, and he gives her the MacGuffin, and then plane's about to explode, so then she has to run off. So yeah, there could have been a possible another Metroid, but with a different character, for making a one-time appearance.
No, I wouldn't be 100% inherently against that, but same token, I could see fans not being okay with that.
Yeah, well, I did. Yeah, that idea never came through, but
I mean,
uh,
granted, okay, I know it's not Metroidvania related, but it's kind of like in Zelda 2 or 3, one or the other, where they wanted like multiple playable characters, and then they just didn't choose to do that.
oh, I always thought it would be a cool like Metroid game. They made it kind of like in like a it was actually open world, but I guess like open galaxy like Mass Effect type of Metroid, or you just you take on several different types of missions, different types of areas. Have kind of like a allegiance tree, or like a maybe you can become more corrupted, or become more human, or more tech heavy. Maybe you might side with the pirates, or join the or more the Earth Force, or something like that. Or I just think it's open to like its own like a big massive game with more choices and stuff. But it's just so synonymous with the Metroidvania formula that it's never gonna become more than that, unfortunately.
Mm.
I see.
Uh, but
I
let's
don't,
see
and I
here.
don't think, and I don't think actually, there was actually, I'll segue a little bit because you actually brought up the whole Zelda 2, Zelda 3, and I thought, okay, someone brought up my chat. They rated me while I was playing Rebel Transmute, an indie Metroidvania. We'll get to that later. Anyway, anyway, they were just, someone was discussing about, so if Metroidvanias fall under that same convention, would you say that Zelda games fall under that same genre too? And there was a little bit of a debate about it. It was a friendly debate, nothing too heated about it. I think it's a matter of perspective, honestly. And here's why. Zelda does follow some of the Metroidvania mechanics. You have your map, albeit not too extremely detailed at some times. Yes, you'll get the treasures in the dungeon that gets you to do the dungeon to beat said dungeon, and allows you to access more of the world openly to get more of the treasures that you need. Yeah, that actually hits it. But at the same time, you're gonna have to consider what makes a Metroidvania in that standard.
Yeah, because
So,
it's kind of like, oh, Zelda's a role playing game. It's, to my opinion, it's not. But
yeah, and there's the argument right there about whether Zelda is a role playing game or not. I said it does have some aspects in it, but it's not.
well, it's kind of
Full.
like, I don't know, the one thing I was always told. Sorry if I'm inadvertently making this a teeny debate. It's kind of like, well, you're playing the role of Link. Well, by that logic, Super Mario Brothers is an RPG because I play the role of Mario. And then they went, I'm like, see, that's too broad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a way too broad. And then years later, we had Super Mario RPG, one of the fantastic RPGs out there.
I still got to play the
Could make
remake.
the argument that he's Link because he's the Link of the player in the game, whereas Mario is just Mario. He's
What is it?
Gotcha.
I thought the main character's name was Zelda. No, it's Link. Zelda. No, it's Link. It's Link. Zelda's the princess. She can fight,
Oh, no.
but you don't play as her.
I
I
thought the
say
main
Zelda
character's
just
name
troll
was
people.
Tingle.
Oh, okay. I can take Tingle.
Okay.
Oh, I know
Different
someone
single.
who did that says Zelda just to troll people. Yeah.
Yeah,
And when people try to correct her in the comments, she's like, "No, no, seriously, it's named after the character. The title is Zelda. The character's name is Zelda." Yeah.
Did you guys ever try the Tingle game on DS?
Oh,
No.
that I did. That was hilarious.
Oh, it is. It is. All right, Tilly. We have a job for you, so you don't feel left out. You gotta go play it now.
Well, to be fair, though, I never really got to play the Zeldas where Tingle's in them, so it'd be a little for me to just jump into that one.
It's funny. That's all I will
Uh,
say. It's just funny.
Oh, agreed. I would actually suggest play the game with a guide because that game is more cryptic than any Zelda game I've ever played.
Play
It
almost every
is.
Zelda game with a guide.
Yeah.
Heck, I'm actually playing some Breath of the Wild tonight, and I got my my open map that has every single collectible, and I can just, check them off.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I used Breath of the Wild for is just to learn where the Master Sword was. That's the only thing I used ever for a guide in that game. Good game though.
Yee. Okay.
Alright.
Let's see
Well,
here. I guess.
I think we're done with the the Metroid version, the Metroid part, and the Castlevania part. I think we
Yeah.
should go into some indie titles that makes Metroidvania Metroidvania, and if possible.
All right. I guess since I brought up earlier, Zal Tales of Kenzia, which just dropped like a month ago or something. And great story. I think it's about like Kenya roots and yeah, but yeah, I play as like was it Sage?
A shaman.
Shaman. Thank you. That's close. And but yeah, guy like more than his father, and he's got
Baba.
that yeah, the Baba. And he's got the young like hot-headed trope. That he got matures, and as the game goes on. And I like the fact that he gets to make a lot of smart ass remarks and stuff, and because a lot of Metroidvania games are like quiet, too quiet, you know. You just kind of got like, the atmospheric, the sinister music, particularly. Although if your Castlevania is kind of like a European rock, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're usually pretty quiet. But yeah, I always love the jungle setting, and beautiful colors, good combat. I definitely need to finish that game.
Tilly,
Worth
if you
finishing.
can, after stream, just DM me the name of that game so I can look into it.
Tales of Kenzera Zao. While you're doing that, Tilly, I have some experience since I recently beat it with 100% on the challenging difficulty. The story's fantastic. I love the story involving a young boy that's trying to grieve for the loss of his father or his baba. And in the beginning of the story, minor spoilers, the mother is pregnant, and I said, "Oh shit! You got a child cooking in the oven in there, Missy. Well, what are you gonna do now?" And there's his son is just grieving the loss, and I said, "Oh man, this is awful. How how's he gonna cope?" And lo and behold, Mama recommended the person to read the book from his Baba study, and the game took place in the book, which I think it's a very interesting take. Uh, so yeah, the story is fantastic. The voicing on this one is S tier fantastic. I usually don't give praise like this at all to any game, but this one, it's core to the soul. It's done perfectly. I cannot express of how adamant that this kind of level of voice acting should be on every single game that
Oh yeah.
does it. It speaks it all. I love it. However, there have been some takeaways that I did do in my personal review of it. First off, it almost similarly plays and looks like Ori. But okay, before I go into that further, the art style, okay, I love the art style. I love it a lot. Okay, now back to what I was saying earlier. I mean, granted, I love the Ori games, but if you're gonna take something from a game, don't fully copy paste it. I mean, just take something, but don't take most of all of it. I think that's the most. I think that kind of sets the bar a little low for me personally. But that's just me. Another thing that I will say about the game is that this is also a minor spoiler, but there's too many wave encounter rooms. There's too much of them. I mean, I understand it if you were doing for a side quest, but if you have like 10 of them before you get to the main part of the bloody game, that's too much for me. I would take about 2 or 3, but up to 10 of those just for me to get to the main part of the game? No. Just no. I mean, no. I mean, I was playing it on the hardest difficulty, granted. Yeah, but still. It was incredibly frustrating at those rooms alone. But the rest of the game, smooth sailing. But yeah, those are the two big beefs I had with the game. You don't take everything, well, 70% up from another game and put it to your and infuse it to your own. And I would say 30% would be safe, but 70%, nuh-uh. And lessen the amount of encounter rooms. That's all. I love the combat. I love the boss fights.
Yeah, kind of did remind me a little bit of Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
I guess you can only do the like speaking of Ori, you can only do like the magical force so many different ways, I guess.
You can. You can. Now, is this something now Tales of Kenzera Zao? Do I recommend it for beginners? Yes, it does have a difficulty setting that you can change it to something for beginners. Do I recommend it for veterans? Yes and no, because I know I know some people will critique it because it almost plays nearly like Ori, but also I know it does its best to be unique, and that's what I want each and every Metroidvania that I play is be unique to itself, but never transition away from the formula. And Tales of Kenzera never strayed away from the Metroidvania formula, albeit they did copy and paste Ori, but I digress. It is a fun game. I recommend it. I will say though, don't get your hopes up for a 10 score out of me. I was nice and I gave it a 7.5 because of those two big giveaways that those big takeaways I just stated. The overabundance of encounter rooms and the Ori pace lookalike. I just don't think I can stress that enough. But I love the story a lot, and it made me cry. It did, twice. And for those who have lost someone important, I do recommend playing it. It does give you closure to what it is. And for the price, it's right. It's decently length. You get about a good 10, 15, maybe 20 hours if you want to explore everything. Sure. Yeah, you get your money's worth for it. Sure.
All right. Let's see here. Matt, what's an indie game that comes to mind?
All right, I got an obscure one for you. An American-only Metroidvania. It was never released internationally.
In
And it's
America.
Yep, in America. Like Bandit Keith. But Monster Tale for the Nintendo DS.
Monster Tale, huh?
So it's not even a particularly long or even super difficult Metroidvania. And it does use some interesting use of the second screen of the Nintendo DS. And fun fact, if you Google Monster Tale Remake, yeah, it got announced a long time ago, and it's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, oh, now we're making for modern systems. Didn't happen. Monster Tale basically, you basically get a pet monster, and they basically help you conquer, through the stages, this and that. 5 bosses, you take down the bad kids because you're a kid yourself. Basically, the game in a nutshell. It's one of those moments of, you beat in the game, it's been a little bit, but you're like, you want to say more about it, but it's like it was just a pretty good game, but nothing like 100% stick to you. Kind of how I feel about the game as a whole.
Right.
I'm trying to remember if it didn't use much touchscreen, even if, say, if one of you emulated it, but it's a decent game, needless to say. The one I have a lot more to say about. Have either of you tried out Astalon?
I seen I put it on my GOG wish list. Never played it though.
All right, so Astalon,
Astalon Tears of the Earth.
yeah. So that is a really, really good Metroidvania, but I would be a little hard pressed to recommend it for new players because it's not an easy game. It actually does have a bit of difficulty. There are difficulty spikes, and you are sometimes quite in between save points. As you die, the save point sucks to be you. But it does a lot of things interesting. So you start off with the game with 3 playable characters, and they're all quite unique in their own ways. So you'll use blah character to get through here, this to get through there, that and this. You switch them at the campsites. So there's a lot of things interesting, and I love its 8-bit aesthetic. It's great. Another thing that do help it out a lot is like it's a huge map. I'm putting up my Steam for like 2 seconds because how many hours I put in this game? I put in a lot. I put in 16 and a half hours. And I know I did not go through the entirety of the map. I know I did not unlock all the characters. Like,
Damn.
it is just a big game. Like, I probably could have put another 3.5 hours there if I really wanted to 100% the game. I would say the only thing, like I said, I wouldn't recommend for beginners because the game is not the most easy game. And sometimes some spots are a little bit obscure to get through from what I remember. But needless to say, it is a game worth playing.
It does look challenging. I accept.
Good.
Bookmarked.
And I always take that as a big compliment.
Yep.
Let's-
Oh.
Snap cap. That sounds familiar.
And if you guys want another much quicker Metroidvania that'll take you about 4 or 5 hours to beat,
Please say it.
Gado Roboto.
Oh, fuck you. I was gonna say that.
Well, sorry, I was reading your mind, and I brought it up before you could.
Get out of here.
Sorry, that's the power of the Upside Down.
Okay. Let me butt in Matt for real quick. Gato Roboto is indeed quick. It's simple. It's cute. I love it. I adore it. It's in the top 5. I don't know why I put something so short but so cute in it, but it's definitely deserves to be recognized.
Well, it's a game that doesn't overstay its welcome.
No, it doesn't. And the fact that it's so immersively simple. I mean, you're transitioning from screen to screen. It just tells you what you need to do and where you need to go. And sometimes, yeah, you may get lost, but you're not overwhelmingly lost. It's easy to get lost, but it's easy to get back on track. So it's an offset regularly. And yeah, it's also easy to 100% it. And I was about to revisit it as a personal review of mine. And I already, in my review, I say that I'm glad that they gave you a warning that's saying that, yeah, this is and well, they did break the 4th wall, that this is the point of no return. So if you're like a completionist like me that want to do 100%, this is the time to do it. Otherwise, you're not getting back up. And I said, I'm glad you put that warning in there because most games don't.
Oh, agreed.
They really don't. But this one definitely is the highlight. It's definitely cheap. It's definitely worth the time and money for sure. And I love Gato Roboto. I just think cats are cute in mech suits. I can't lie.
I will second that.
Kiki.
Let's see here. I think that's Nocturne.
I guess I should go over the first one I played in 2024, Rebel Transmute. It was recommended to me by a big streamer named Grand Pooh Bear.
Heard of them.
Yeah, definitely check him out. Plays Mario, but he recommended me Rebel Transmute out of nowhere, and I said, "Fuck, I'll check it out," and never disappointed. So it is indie for sure. And every time I look at this game, I play this game, I look back, what the hell? Did I actually beat this game? I thought it was really impossible to play this game, but no, at first it wasn't possible, but not close, but no. They actually had some accessibility to make the game easy, but I said, bollocks to that, I'll just do it the normal, natural way. So, yeah, you can easily get lost up in it, sure, but it's easy for you to get back on track. And there are some secrets, sure. You're easy to find them, one way or another. And each and every ability that they give you, you always use them. It's not like you get to use the ability for once and then you don't get to use it again. No, in this game they make you use everything. They make you use all the abilities that you have, and you have a chance to upgrade them with augments or anything of the like. And I would say it's really cool that they did that. Another thing I will add is that, yeah, the combat is a little difficult, but they specifically made it difficult for that reason. Because it's not a long-range blaster you're working on, it's short to mid-range, like a shotgun. And I thought at first, oh, this is dreadful. But then I said, I can get used to this. And then, yeah, I got this. And it has some elements of Hollow Knight. But not to the point where it's extremely frustrating. It can be extremely frustrating upon death. They punish you for every death, saying that you lose a core or something, a health core. And if you can't get it back, then you can either buy it back at the refresh station with using the currency. But do you lose your currency each and every death? Yes and no. Yes, you do, but no if you have the augment that prevents you from losing the currency after you die. I think that augment was my saving grace. And they make you strategize builds with the amount of battery power that you have that powers the augments. If you go a little under the capacity, yeah, you're good to go. But if you're at capacity, you're good to go. But if you're over capacity, you can forget about it. Or you can just strategize around builds with different augments. They make you think on what to build. There's multiple builds. There's no build. There's like no linear build. It's multiple builds that you can do, and all the builds that are in there with the augments, it's doable in the game for sure. And with the fact that this game that just recently came out 2-3 months ago. Wait, March. Yeah, it was in March that was released. It was released before I started the marathon of this year. I recommended playing it, and the price is right for sure. You can 100% this with some difficulty. There are some advanced techniques like the Shine Spark. They put the Shine Spark in there, but in an interesting setting. And those who are playing it will definitely understand what I'm going with a little later. But yeah, it's rewarding to find the extra stuff. The side quests are not that a pain in the ass. But if you do them, they're worth it. They're very worth the rewards. It's also worth the lore as well. The story is fantastic. It's something that I've expected in an indie game, but a little bit more than my expectations. Yeah. Now when it comes to the array of other weapons, that's a different story. But it does allow you to build different versions of the customized blaster. So you can just upgrade it and upgrade it and upgrade it and upgrade it. You can make it go longer range if you want. You can make it go spread. You can supercharge it and go boom, 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 and then it go blang, 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 something like that. But yeah, and there's also bomb jumps in there. Yeah, this Rebel Transmute takes of the good things that Super Metroid had and put it in there. They also had some elements in there from Metroid Fusion in there, but they have their unique approach on it. And this is the epitome of what Metroidvanias should be. Take a little bit of this from that, take a little bit of this from that, but make it unique to your own. And that's what I love about it, is that it again, never strayed from the formula. It kept true to it kept true to what it is. So, personally, Rebel Transmute is definitely something I would recommend looking at. It's on every console. It's on Steam. It's on PS4. It's on PlayStation. It's on Xbox. See, I think it's on Switch. But yeah, it's enjoyable. I would say, is it recommendable for beginners? Uh, yes and no. There is no way to change the difficulty, but there is a way to make the accessibility options make it easier for you while exploring and wrapping up the game. So I would say try it out.
All right, Billy, do you have any suggestions? If not, I got still more listed down.
Yeah, like, I definitely got a bunch that they're like on the will I ever get around to them list, or the bucket list. Like I know there's Dandara and what was it? And Sundered, both with nice art styles and both starring women of color. Then I was surprised by the Record of Lordos War one because I
Oh,
always
that was
associate
fantastic.
Yeah, I always associate that name with like old school RPGs, but like that's right, they made a recent one. Uh,
Actually, may I, going off of that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, Team Ladybug had developed the Record of Lodos War game, which that game is fantastic. But that's not the game I
What?
want to talk about.
Are you
Toho-
talking about that? Are you talking about that Deetlit game?
Yeah. But that's not
Go
the game
for
I
it.
want to talk about. I want to talk about the game they made beforehand.
Oh, maybe before. Oh, okay. Now
Toho
I'm interested.
Luna Nights.
Oh, fuck you. I was gonna say that.
Sorry, should have beat me to it.
Anyway, yeah, it was a game. It was a game I played last year. It's very fantastic. I'll let Matt explain this one. I'm pretty sure Matt can explain it more better than I can.
Hopefully. If not, fill in the blanks, for what I
Thank you.
missed.
Okay.
So, Toho, if people don't know what that is, long story short, it's been a long-running independent series in Japan that's amassed a gigantic fan base. I mean, gigantic. Hell, even I have a plush of one of the characters in my back, so I've been affected. I'm sorry. But it's a fantastic Metroidvania. Forgot, what's the gimmick in the game? Is it time stop or is it slow down when you dodge things? I'm sorry. It's only out on... It's been about 3
slow
years
down.
I've last played. It's
It's
slow down?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a hot minute since I've last played since my birthday, like 3 years ago. Because someone gifted for my birthday, and I played down and beat it in one sitting of like 7 hours.
You are amazing. Wow.
I just got that much into it.
Wish I was that into it. I mean, I
Yeah,
was, but I
mean-
didn't beat it quickly enough.
I mean, that's why I also like their other game, Record of Lodos War, D-Light and Wonder Labyrinth. Like,
Fantastic.
I don't know what's about Team Ladybug. They know what they're doing. If there's one developer to specifically name drop on this entire podcast, check out Team Ladybug.
Yep.
And they even made one more game that is very obscure. They did release a free, with the collaboration of Atlas, Metroidvania, starring Jack Frost.
Yo.
But anything you want to toss in with their knocks with Toho Lunar Nights and or the other game I just said?
So for Toho Luna Nights, I did not know it was a long time independent series that's from Japan. Well, I knew it's from Japan. I just did not know it was independent. But all I did know is that it had a huge following and fan base. And someone that recommended I play it, and I said, all right, fine. I'll see how it is. And then first minute into it, I said, oh, fuck, I'm already hooked. I'm already hooked on it. There's no stopping me, chat. And unfortunately, an inevitability came in that my stream crashed, and I said, well, I'll wait till next time. But yeah, the Tolo Nights is a very fun game. It has multiple different endings, and based on the ending that you want to go for, the challenge difficulty goes up. And I mean, it goes up. there's really nothing bad I can say about the game. All I can say is that why haven't I discovered this game sooner? And even if I did, I probably would have gave it 11 out of 10. I gave it a 9.75 because of just how freaking good it is.
So I was
It was
quick look
fantastic.
at one thing background. Apparently, they made one more game, Team Ladybug. I've never played. I forgot it was on my wish list. Dranius. They made a shmup.
Dranius, huh?
I've kind of forgot that was a thing. I know it's been on my wish list for probably 2 years now. I'm like, oh, looks good.
Yeah.
I know we're
looks
talking
good.
about Metroidvanias here, but
Team Ladybug. Yeah, Dranius is a 2022 scrolling shooter video game developed by Team Ladybug, co-published by Playism and WSS Playground. Nintendo Switch version is scheduled to be released. I'm thinking that they either did or they're delaying it.
yeah, you never know sometimes with Nintendo Switch ports.
But yeah, back to Deal It. Deal It was another game that that started off 2-3 years ago or
Yeah,
something.
that's right.
And yeah, so I think it was the second year of the Metroidvania marathon. I loved it. I was a little sad that the story is only ended up. Well, I'm not gonna say anything else, but about it because all I know is that it had a lot of similar elements to it. It had Symphony of the Night elements and also had similar other Metroidvania elements as well. It worked, and I will vouch of what Matt said about Team Ladybug knowing their stuff. They do know their stuff, and this game and Total Luna Nights vouches it. I think I gave this one an 8 because I couldn't 100% it. No, that's just me being oblivious. I looking back on it now, and I just replayed it on my off time. I said, why did I give this a bad score? Or I probably gave it a 9, but either way, it's something close to a 10. But it's something that I recommend to others because I feel like that this, aside from the Gato Roboto, I feel like that this game is good for beginners. Next to Toho Luna Nights, if you're going for the if you're going for it very quick, like the normal ending. If you want the true ending, well, you got to get 100% everything just to be on the safe side. Because let me tell you, that final boss doesn't play around.
No, did not.
No, no. The final boss of Total Luna Nights, they don't mess around. You got to be prepared. You got to waha for it. Same with Wonder Labyrinth's final boss. They don't fuck around.
Yeah. Although I know I had a lot much easier time for me being that final boss compared to one of my friends who are like, this final boss sucks. I'm like, I just wanted to be like, nah, you kind of suck at the game.
Yeah, well,
No, I'm
that's
not that toxic of a gamer, just for the record.
Thank you. I know you're not. I would just say that. Yeah, that's something somebody would say normally, but no.
I always joke around, but sometimes I toss the same thing at myself, like, oh, get good. And sometimes I'll say, all right, time for me to get good. I'll reverse the thing on myself.
There you go. But those two games have very, very heart pounding boss fights. Not to a point of frustration. It's you learn from it, and they think, okay, this is where I messed up on. Let's learn from it and get better. And eventually, you did get better, and you divide and conquer, and you win. And I think that's probably why those two games, are redeemable for replayability for sure. I'll throw in one real quick, and this is something that I'm just going based on this year alone that I played it while it's fresh in my mind. The Shantae series.
Okay. I think Shantae 3 is the best one.
And which one was that?
Pirate's Curse.
Okay, Pirate's Curse. I will agree, it's one of the very good ones. I did not start off with that one though. I started off with the. I don't own the first Shantae game. I own the other 4. I started off with Seven Sirens. I thought Seven Sirens was really good.
I would agree. That's actually my second favorite.
That one's in tie for first with Pirate's Curse. but yeah, Shantae. But yeah,
Like, my only problem with Seven Sirens is it's pretty easy. It's on the default
it is.
difficulty. It's pretty easy.
It is. It is. It's easy in itself, but it's easy to get lost in it. But it's also easy to get back on track too. So it's overall easy, and that's fine every once in a while, to me. But it is something I do recommend for beginners because I know most of my chat does just start out playing video games. They want something that's easy, something they could latch onto. And I said that's fine. I'll play some easy games and I'll recommend them to you if I see them. And that's one of those. It's my favorite.
Then
Uh,
I have
It's
one that you might want to push towards your chat.
mm,
And I mean this game series as a general whole too, but it has one Metroidvania in the entire series. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
agreed. I can never imagine a Kirby game in that genre before, but it works so well. And I think it's because it's Kirby.
And it also has Sakurai working on it too.
I mean, Kirby is Sakurai's baby. I mean,
Well, I'm just saying after Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, he doesn't work on Kirby anymore.
well,
Like,
are you sure
that's
that doesn't work
after-
on the dog?
Sorry, what?
Are you sure that doesn't work on the dog?
Like, work on the dog. What? No, he doesn't work on Kirby anymore. After the Amazing Mirror, he kind of. That's when he started forwarding his own company, and then we got Brawl and stuff like that.
I thought he did a Kirby game like after he was done with Brawl or Smash.
Yeah, I think Sakurai helped made Smash as well, and
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. And
Like,
I
I'm
think
just
the
saying,
fact-
like, he'd leave HAL Laboratory and form his own company.
that's true. And if I recall correctly, HAL Laboratories had a dog and a nest in it.
Okay, no, because coincidentally, he kept saying dog. That's my dog was no joke barking in the background. I'm like, what?
I didn't hear the dog background. I said the dog because the HAL Laboratories had a
Yeah, the
dog that
dog
come
with the
nest in it.
eggs.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Yeah, I
Right.
did not know that Sakurai actually left HAL Laboratories and made his own, which makes a lot more sense. But it also makes more sense as why Kirby was left alive in the world of light, because that's his baby. They're like, yeah, we'll let my baby live and be the hero once more.
But, that's just a normal day of Kirby's life. The whole world coming to the end. Kirby just looks says, nothing new.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do this. I got this. But yeah, Kirby in the mirror. I will definitely have a look at this one for sure.
The only thing I will forewarn is the map itself is a bit confusing. So it's not that I still can't recommend it for beginners. It's just it is kind of almost like Metroid Prime's map. It's surprisingly more complex than it should be.
Makes sense.
But aside from that, it's Kirby. Kirby's easy.
Of course.
Hashtag biased.
Ha! Ha! I will allow that. Anyway, there is what game was I talking about oh yeah, the Shantae game. So Seven Sirens is easy. It's lead for first. But not Risky's Revenge. The Pirate's Curse is my favorite for sure. That's the second one I played. After that was Risky's Revenge. Now, that one was
A little rough around the edges, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, but it is without good points. So it's there. So I will give them credit for it for at least, I mean, then again, it is one of the older Shantae games, so I will forgive it. I will forgive it. And then last one I played was Half Genie Hero. Now, Half Genie Hero, well, I mean, I would say it's not my favorite, but it's still fun. It still retained the Shantae humor.
I think we're on the exact same page with the Shantae games.
I should check you out more often then. But anyway,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. What?
I was saying Yaz. Check him out.
Sure. One last thing I will say about the Shantae is that what attracted me to Shantae was Grid Baron. That's all I will say. only thing that was attracted to me was Squid Baron.
It does have a mascot character vibe.
Yeah.
So my thoughts of Shantae. Played the first one. I thought that was kind of the hardest because especially with the respawns but the last boss was awesome. I thought they that was a lot for when you expect like just a Game Boy Color game, and but then Risky's Revenge, yeah, because I feel like that game was like unfinished.
So I think they
feel like
rushed the development for it because it's on DSi and this and that, and they can only have it be so big.
Yeah, like I felt like it was only like 2 dungeons or something. Like it just felt really unfinished.
Yeah, 2 real dungeons, and the rest are like they're there.
Yeah. Yeah, then you had the Pirate's Curse. Which because like the utility of the pirate weapon, so it totally outshines the genie powers. Because like with the genie powers, like the magic stuff is kind of like you have mixed use and you kind of burn through it too fast. But like it's just the dances, you gotta kind of like stop your pace and put a dance or something. Whereas the pirate stuff, you just like like quickly just keep moving. And then there was Half Genie Hero, which had like all the DLCs and stuff, and you get to try like several different characters and like gameplay styles. They're all a little short, like and I didn't like playing as Risky Boots. She's my favorite there.
Boots.
She was kind of like basically probably a Tron Bond.
Yeah.
And then then the other one, I haven't played Seven Sirens, but I remember that had the freaking Studio Trigger intro.
Be right back, guys.
All right.
Okay, it's weird like how both of them were like the last 2 ones were like really hyped, and now it's kind of like no one's like spoke of Shantae since.
Really?
Yeah, like just I feel like Shantae's kind of faded after Seven Sirens released.
Huh. I never thought of that. But yeah, I agree. I agree that Risky Boots is equivalent to Trombone. Tinkerbats and all over the place. Very dominant personality.
Yeah.
Definitely a pirate for sure. And yeah, likes to booby trap people in bathtubs. Well, not sure how that says, but yeah, the Shantae games, man. I'm actually looking forward to the new one that's coming out next year. I am. And I never thought Shantae would be that much fun until
Till you got to it.
Well, no, chat recommended me to. So it was my longtime best friend for almost 25 years recommended it to me. I said, "You got to be silly." And then I said, "Nope, I was wrong. I was silly for skipping this. I'm actually having a lot of fun."
Let's see here. And one that kind of gets slept on is Owl's Awakening, which if you like Shovel Knight, because they basically play like it looks just like an 8 or 16-bit game, and great platformer. Super hard though.
I actually
but if you like,
to pick up the collection on Switch.
nice.
Wait,
But yeah, if you like,
wait, there's a collection on Switch?
Yeah, they made it physical, and I picked it up not that long ago.
But yeah, if you like the Shovel Knight art style, then Owl Walls is for you. There's Owl's Awakening, and then there's the sequel, Owl's Legacy, where basically it's a nice little 8-bit looking platformer. But it's also Metroidvania, and you play kind of like a wizard girl. You can make your own little blocks. Use your shields are platforms.
Damn that one to me. I think I might know a person who will love this one.
Okay.
Appreciate
And
it.
here I have one more recommendation.
Go for it.
And this one is going to be very different from all the other suggestions because it's randomly generated Metroidvania. So very rarely are your missions going to last any longer than an hour and a half. A robot named Fight.
Yeah. The missions only last about an hour and a half, less than that if you're good enough. But yeah, Robot Named Fight is one of those Metroidvanias that, to me, it's not. It's it's a roguelite.
Yeah,
Uh, and
definitely.
it's a roguelite in its own way. I know it has some elements of Metroidvania, but it's not. And I could make an argument about another game, but I do not want to do that.
Oh, I put the link in general, and I think it's on sale for only $2.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was free at one point on
Oh,
Steam.
I wouldn't surprise me went for. Oh damn, it's only like $2 right this second.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it is $2. Fuck.
I already physically own it, so
I mean, I guess.
Let's see here. Another game I kind of avoided because I heard it was like pretty freaking hard, and I thought the helmet was kind of silly looking, but blasphemous.
so I got to the
Oh
second to final boss.
man.
I wasn't feeling good, so my reaction time was slow, and it couldn't be slow for that boss. I'm like, I just straight up said, I was streaming, I'm not having fun. I just don't feel good. I'm sorry, I gotta put this down. If not, I'm gonna get too salty.
Speaking of,
Blasphemous. I love Blasphemous. I love it because, well, I normally don't get recommended games from, people who are not within my chat or anything, but someone who recommended me to do so. It was Barbarous King recommended Blasphemous. And yeah, I normally don't like Soul S games, but this was something I enjoyed despite my frustrations, and I divide and conquered and only got the bad ending. I think because I missed a couple of
you're
things,
back.
but all right. But I think it's because of Blasphemous that made me learn to be better in not only Metroidvania games, but mostly games similar to it. And it may
Hmm.
take me a while to get used to it before it becomes second nature to me. But yeah, Blasphemous, I can understand that if you need to put it down for a little bit, totally understandable. I was at a point where there was one boss. It was the second to the last that got me really frustrated.
Yeah. So same boss.
Oh, that one. Oh, you were the one that. Oh, I
Yeah,
understand that then.
I just you need perfection there, and I just like I can't do this right now because I was sick, and my
Mhm.
reaction time just was not there.
Yeah, I would not shame you if you needed to get away from, especially if you were under the weather. So, did you eventually beat it?
No, I was just I haven't picked it up since because I was just like so mainly one fault of me is sometimes I do get a little frustrated at games, so sometimes I'm just like it's better off me putting it down for quite a while, or just not pick it back up. Yeah, I think I could beat it with enough practice, but it's just one of those moments of just
Hmm.
get out of your minds and get rid of all those bad feelings. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So sometimes I'll just do that. Like let's put this down for even if it's years I put it down. It's not. It's still plan to be returned. It's just when I'm ready.
Well, whenever it may be, whenever you're ready. Yeah, it can be a frustrating game for sure. It can be. Whenever I have this victory, a satisfaction of beating down a boss, it feels so good and so
Oh yeah.
relieving.
Oh yeah. When you beat a boss, you earned it.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially if, well, I think I might have streamed this 3 years ago. It wasn't part of the Metroidvania because I didn't know it was a Metroidvania at the time. I kind of glitched the final boss by accident.
Oops.
So I went all the way to the right of the screen in transition, and then there was no boss encounter. And I just went straight for the end. I said, wait, did I get the bad ending because I glitched with the final boss? What? And, well, no, that wasn't the case because I did beat the final boss legitimately and still got the bad ending. I said, oh,
Well,
oh, whoops. Oops. So it must have been some things I missed, but it's still an enjoyable game. Frustrating, but still enjoyable. Uh, but it's not recommended for beginners. Hell no. No, no, no. Far from it. I would
Yeah,
say
no.
wait. I would say wait a bit, then get to it.
I agree. That's like, say, if I was trying to recommend God Hand to a new gamer, I'm like, nope.
Oh no. God hand requires you to really
Well,
know
I've
what you're.
seen even experienced gamers just give up on the final boss.
That I can see.
It
I can
took.
see.
Now, I beat God Hand really quick. I beat that game in about 8, 9 hours. 2 of those hours were just on the final boss.
Wow.
I
And
love
I
it.
know my time of God Hand's a really good time.
I
But it's also
believe it.
God Hand.
Also, God hand. Yeah.
Man, I still really like that game, though. I started to really get frustrated towards the end of the game. And even then, I was still pretty okay.
There's an online petition for a sequel.
Come on, Shinji Mikami, make it happen.
Um,
Wait. A petition for God hand too.
yeah.
I would not doubt that.
I mean, it
Uh,
deserves it. Or heck, just give us Gene in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. He's made for it.
Sure.
yeah. Swinging back around to Metroid real quick. I remember, I did get salty at Metroid Dread, because, I got made some decent progress. But the first day I played it, I was between, like, Emmy, freaking scaring me, and all the frustration. Basically, because I think I just had a hard, long day at work. I just wanted a game that I could relax to. And that game was not the kind of game to relax to. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's a bad taste in my mouth.
The Emmys can be frustrating, especially if you're trying to dodge them or trying just to not get caught by them. And yeah, you want something relaxing, and Metroid Dread was far from relaxing. Well, if you're not encountering the Emmys. Beep 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 beep. Nope, nope, nope. Get away! Get away! Get away from me! Nope. Get.
So if you both are done with your list, I got a few on mine.
Sure. Wraps on deck.
Okay, one from back in the day now is a Dust and Elysian Tale.
oh, that's a good one.
Yep. Let's see here. Then I was right. It was made by like one guy too. That's crazy. That was portable. Let's see here. One that kind of been forgotten. It's a little hard, but it was fun. Kind of reminded me of Ninja Gaiden. It's called The Messenger.
Being Messenger. Final boss is
Uh,
a joke.
The Messenger. I've heard of this.
We will say nothing more Messenger because we're going to get in spoiler territory. So the less you know, the better.
Fair enough. Let's move on.
okay. Oh shit! They're the people who made Sea of Stars.
Yep.
You don't say.
Which, yeah, if you liked Super Mario RPG, that's a good RPG.
I'm still waiting for the physical one to come out.
Game I watched you play that I've been wanting to play, Iconoclast.
That is a Metroidvania in its own right too.
Hmm.
I think Iconoclast does deserve to be a Metroidvania in its own way. It's very unique, and I don't think it's at all difficult in in the essence of trying to get through the okay, if you're countering a boss or something like that, it's simple to get through it, but it's very easy to not only get lost in it, but it's also easy to actually lose your way of where to progress and where to proceed. It's that difficult to get back into it. I am been stuck on the same part for years, and I have not progressed since. And it was back in 2021 when it kickstarted. Well, when I first started off doing the marathon. But
Let's see here.
but yeah, Iconoclast is a lot of fun. But if you don't know where to go, then yeah, it can be frustrating. Fun, but frustrating.
Let's see here. One, I need to give it a shot. Axiom Verge. Yeah, I feel
Oh,
like.
That
worthy
one
of
I've yet to
revisiting.
play.
What?
I've yet to play that one. I have a physical copy.
What?
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You know what? I got one. Time Spinner.
Fucking love
Oh,
Time Spinner. I
that's what I've been wanting
love
to
Time
play.
Spinner. I adore it. It's top 2 right now of Metroidvanias of all time. Time Spinner is amazing.
Nice. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Guacamelee.
I gotta finish that one day.
Let's see. It can get drag a bit. I wonder how the multiplayer's like.
I played the multiplayer once. I wasn't so bad.
You know how like a few games got those Steam mods. So I kind of made like my dude look like Venom and the chick look like Bayonetta. Let's see here. Oh, and speaking of Castlevania, Bloodstain, Ritual of the Night. Anybody?
Love Bloodstained, yeah.
I
Bloodstained's one of those I
like
can.
Bloodstain. It's not my favorite, but I do like it.
It is very camp.
I would say my only problem with Bloodstain is really one part, and it's a common complaint with the game. That one spot where you need the ability to go underneath water. The game
Yeah.
doesn't tell you.
Yeah, the water is terrible. I don't like water. I hate water.
Listen, water in these games are not good for you guys.
No, I just no. If you the thing is, if you don't have something that could navigate you through water simply, it's always it's always a sad day. A
And
very sad day.
two games I ain't played myself, but I've see get lots of praise. Hollow Knight.
Maybe too much
I never got
praise.
too far in.
And Dead Cells.
Metroidvania that's also isn't. It's more roguelike than the former. But that's me. But yeah, Dead Cells though. It's fun. It's fun and enjoyable, especially for the Castlevania that they added on. I said, oh, okay, so we're doing that. Okay. So what's next?
I think that's my list. I DM'd you the list, by the way, so
Oh.
you can just look this up.
Oh, appreciate
that's
that.
marathon.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
But yeah. Okay, but and we are definitely going near almost 2 hours, so maybe it's time to start wrapping this up.
I think so.
All right.
What's up?
Yeah, I think we listed like a crap ton of games that, hey, if anyone listen to this, you got a lot of recommendations.
Indeed.
Oh, yes.
Uh.
Okay, so maybe we can revisit this in a couple of years or something. But yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty, so anyways, y'all can check me out at Tavern Tilly on Twitch. He's Upside Down Matt, and he's Knockville Etz.
Yep.
Alright. Thank y'all for listening to the Waifu Tavern podcast. Yeah, where we just talk about all kinds of nerdy shit from retro games to whatever, Gundam. Yeah. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next one. Darlings.
Take
Thanks for hanging
care,
out with
y'all.
us.
See you later.